So things can get quite serious for Dogecoin and other cryptos after the upcoming Fed meeting. And in this video, I'm going to talk about its implications for holders. So the U.S. Federal Reserve's Federal Open Market Committee is set to meet, and it is highly likely that the Fed is going to increase the interest rates to counter the rising inflation. And any news regarding interest rates can have instant repercussions for both traditional and crypto markets. And it has been revealed that rate hikes are planned to be the follow-on from the Fed's asset purchase tapering. And it appears that asset purchases should conclude by March, as the Fed has said that the rate hikes should not come before then. And as per analyst Michael Van de Poppe, the upcoming FIVB meeting could mean that we will see lots of volatility for cryptos this week. And now that the Fed seems to be moving in the direction of tightening monetary easing quickly, traders and analysts are fearful about creating new positions in the crypto market. Mark Hefel, CIO of Global Wealth Management at UBS, thinks that the upcoming Fed meeting will underscore the Fed's current line of thinking. He believes that for much of the past decade, market volatility was calmed by the notion that the Fed and other global central banks stood ready to step in to support the economy in the event of weakness. However, now it appears that with inflation still elevated, that support feels less certain. And this week's Fed meeting is likely to underscore the Fed's shift in policy priorities away from supporting growth and toward fighting inflation. And as per crypto analyst Joe Burnett, if the Fed doesn't reverse course during the upcoming FOMC meeting, it appears that the crypto market will fall further than most expect. However, if the Fed reverses its course, Bitcoin and the overall crypto market will bounce fast in a big way. So the point is that it is most likely that the Fed is going to tighten its monetary policy, and it is going to increase interest rates to counter the rising inflation in the US. And if this happens, then we may see another sell-off in the crypto market, and things may start to get ugly for the market. And we may see yet another panic selling in the market that can turn out to be detrimental for Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and others. And now there is another important thing that I think is compelling the Fed to tighten its monetary policies, but I'll come to it later. Let's first talk about why I think that crypto holders should avoid panic selling. This is because even if the Fed's meeting fuels the market towards a major crash, it will be there for a short term. In fact, major whales have always bought more cryptos during such sell-offs. For example, we are now seeing that some whales have been filling their bags with all of the Bitcoin being dumped on the market by panicking investors. As per CC15 Capital, a single Bitcoin wallet had been purchasing millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. In fact, the whale was purchasing tens of thousands of Bitcoin every few hours while traders dumped their coins during the recent crash. So the key point to note here is that not only major whales are having a bullish outlook for Bitcoin, other Bitcoin investors need to stop panicking and stop dumping their coins. And even if the market crashed after this upcoming Fed meeting, crypto holders should avoid packing and look for long-term gains. And talking about long-term outlook for cryptos, in particular Bitcoin, Mike McGlone believes that price reversion in cryptos is likely to spread in 2022. However, he believes that Bitcoin stands to come out ahead. And he has stated that Bitcoin could rebound stronger than stocks once they see a long overdue correction of up to 20%. Similarly, I talked about in my recent video that Cathie Wood's ARK Investment Management has recently predicted that Bitcoin's price could exceed $1 million by 2030. This is because Bitcoin's market cap still represents a fraction of global assets and is likely to scale as nation-states adopt it as legal tender. And ARK added that Bitcoin is taking market share as a global settlement network. Moreover, Bitcoin's cumulative transfer volume increased by 463% in 2021, and its annual settlement volume has surpassed Visa's annual payments volume. And this is exactly why the institutional ownership of Bitcoin will broaden in the future. In addition, we know that Cathie Wood has remained bullish on Bitcoin over the years. Even during last year's crash for it, Cathie Wood stated that despite the bearish market conditions, she was more bullish on Bitcoin than bearish. And according to Wood, the overall economy may soon become deflationary as inflation is declining, and this is why Bitcoin is more than a hedge against inflation. In short, it appears that Wood believes Bitcoin is a significant asset class and a new monetary system capable of more than merely inflation protection. So the point here is that even if Bitcoin faces yet another market crash, it is highly likely that it will come out of it very soon. And as far as the long-term outlook is concerned, Bitcoin is pretty much looking to get some massive gains. And this bullish outlook for Bitcoin means that Dogecoin is also going to perform better in the long term. Thanks to its high price correlation with Bitcoin, Dogecoin will gain momentum in the long term even if it crashes after the upcoming Fed meeting. And this is why I believe that Doge holders should not panic if Doge crashes, and they should avoid panic selling to reap some long-term benefits from Doge. However, I'd like to remind you here that this is not financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor. And it is better that you do your own research before investing in cryptos. And now, as promised, let's come to another important reason why I think the Fed is going to adopt a tighter monetary policy, especially against cryptos. So this major reason is that the US SEC is still having major concerns for cryptos. And this is why they have been rejecting spot Bitcoin ETF again and again. In fact, the SEC has recently rejected a proposal to list a spot Bitcoin ETF by investment advisory firm First Trust and hedge fund SkyBridge Capital. Similarly, it delayed the decision on NYDIG's proposal for a spot Bitcoin ETF. But the good thing to note here is that the SEC has not rejected this proposal. It has only delayed the decision on it. The SEC has extended the time period for ruling on this spot Bitcoin ETF by 60 days in order to have sufficient time to consider the proposed rule change and any comments received. And I think that this may be a turning point for spot ETF, and the SEC may accept these funds sometime in the future. And it is more likely because former CFTC Chairman Timothy Massad has previously backed the idea of a Bitcoin ETF. And he believes that a Bitcoin ETF would be good for investors and regulators. And since these positive comments are coming from a prominent member of the regulatory authority, I think that the SEC may follow his advice in the future. And now let's come to Bitcoin's current price for a minute. So we are now seeing that Bitcoin has finally started to show some positive momentum. And it has managed to go above the 36K price range. And I think it is now looking to gain some more momentum from here. Moreover, we are now seeing some major bullish indicators and data for it. So some important on-chain data is now showing to us that Bitcoin net flows have increasingly become negative since the recent crash, and it means that investors have been busy buying the dip. So the thing to note here is that the All Exchanges Net Flow Indicator measures the net amount of Bitcoin entering or exiting wallets of all exchanges. And when the value of the indicator is positive, it means there are currently more inflows than outflows. Such values imply that investors are transferring a net number of coins to exchanges, possibly for selling purposes. So positive net flow values can prove to be bearish for the price of Bitcoin as they lead to an increase in the selling supply of the coin. And now as the net flow is in a negative value, it is providing a bullish signal for Bitcoin. And we can see here that the Bitcoin net flow has become increasingly negative over the past couple of weeks as its price crashed down. And this shows that investors have been buying the dip as they are transferring a net amount of coins out of exchanges. So this is a very bullish thing for Bitcoin. And we are now seeing that not only investors are still bullish on Bitcoin, crypto analysts are also having a strong bullish outlook for it. For example, analyst Tone Vase has recently revealed that he is still biased on Bitcoin in the bullish direction and that Bitcoin has not yet entered bear territory. He stated that he believes in higher highs and higher lows, especially in a consolidating environment. So if there is a bear market, Bitcoin will need to break below 28K. And as this hasn't happened, it means that Bitcoin is still in the bull market. And he further stated that MicroStrategy is getting in, Tesla is getting in, and El Salvador is accepting Bitcoin as a reserve currency. And all these are some very bullish macro signs for Bitcoin. And seeing all this, he believes that Bitcoin's market structure in a higher time frame remains bullish, and he expects Bitcoin to eventually take out its all-time high. And now, if we come to Dogecoin's current price, we can see here that it is trading on the upside after the recent crash. And it appears that Doge is looking to gain some more momentum here. However, as I said before, the upcoming Fed meeting can cause another major crash for Dogecoin. All in all, let's wait for the Fed meeting and see how things unfold.